Hi, welcome to This Country Called Agriculture. I'm Rob Eric. I'm here with Kerri Sharpe today, and today we're going to talk about organic production in Alberta, and as well the Organic Alberta Conference that's coming up here at Olds College in the next little while. Kerri, thanks for joining us on our show today.
Thank you.
And let's start off with getting the context set for organic. What does this concept mean, or this term mean, certified organic?
Organics and the certification represents a process associated with how producers, farmers, growers grow their product. It involves a transition phase if you're conventional or new. There's a whole on-farm plan for how you're going to grow and rotate your crops, because it's all a whole farm system. Mm-hmm. And it's an annual inspection, a third-party audit, and traceability sort of from farm to wherever it ends up at the consumer's plate.
Fantastic. Now, what do you in your words, what does how does the consumer see this as a benefit to them?
Well, I know from the producer's point, they are hoping that the consumer sees the integrity and the honesty of the system because of the third-party audit. So the consumer should feel certain that if it's organic, it has the Canadian Organic logo on it. There's a designated logo that you can use on your products. That there's a process that this farmer and farm and product has gone through, and they should be able to actually go back and check with the farm and find out everything that's ever happened to that piece of meat, bit of grain, whatever.
So that's really ensuring that the food supply is safe then, isn't it?
Yes, and if there were, not that you can guarantee that, but that if there is, there's a definite ability to trace back where anything has ever happened to that product.
Okay, so we've all heard about Whole Foods from Texas, now the 11th largest grocery retailer in North America, started about 30 years ago. Yep. How do you see the growth for the organic foods category in Canada? Well,
in Alberta, we don't have Whole Foods yet. There's rumors. Mm-hmm. We have 4 smaller organic specialty stores. Planet Organics, probably the longest running, and they will be opening their 3rd store in Calgary in the next month. Planet Organics, both in Edmonton and Calgary. And Amaranth is in Calgary and Edmonton, and the 4th is Blush Lane. And they have stores both in Calgary and Edmonton. And every other retailer has definitely got on the organic bandwagon, and you can find organic pretty much everywhere.
Certainly. I've seen a lot of the retailers have made some kind of category commitment to organic. How does that differ from these the 4 smaller independent groceries that you've talked about?
Well, the smaller independents, and to be honest, there's probably a few other in outlying areas, they seem to be more focused on the relationship with the local producer as much as possible. Alberta can't grow tomatoes in December.
That's right.
But bearing that, a good amount of our organic beef, chicken, all comes from Alberta, and it goes into those smaller 4.
Okay.
The volumes we grow here couldn't meet a Sobeys demand.
Certainly. So your upcoming conference that you're having this month, that is a producer-focused conference to a great degree, isn't it?
To a certain extent. I mean, this conference is building sustainability, so we've really also tried to bring in students, and that's why it's at Olds College. So the ability for students to partake, and maybe, I think they even get some credits to attend the sessions on the Tuesday morning. The rest of the day is beef, oats. Steve Snyder, one of our long-standing producers, is going to talk about grain. But the business of organics is beyond the producer, so there's value chain stuff, distribution, social media, all the attributes that will help get this product to consumers.
Excellent. So Organic Alberta as an organization, could you say that you are focused on helping the producer market their goods to the local consumer more than anything?
I think the impact is felt most on the local market. Organic Alberta's mandate is to do consumer to producer, producer to consumer, and get local product into the hands of consumers.
I just want your opinion or a take on something. We've got the concept of this 100-mile diet. How do you see that working in Alberta? I mean, obviously we have some seasonal and climatic challenges. How is it working for somebody that wants to do that?
I think if you're a very well-informed consumer, you could eat organic food that's local all year round. You would probably supplement it with imports. We do import quite a bit. But I know there's a company in Edmonton, the Organic Box, that does home delivery, and their main focus is to get as much organic from that region into the hands of consumers.
Okay, from your perspective, the Canadian consumer wants safe food. Mm-hmm. What are the other things that you think that the Canadian consumer wants?
Well, I think the Canadian consumer, and we've been talking a lot about the new entrants to buying consumer organics in the consumer, is often new mothers, mm-hmm. and they want to know where their food comes from. They want to know that it's safe for their kids, and they actually are looking for a relationship with the producer. Free from is a big attribute.
Okay.
The process of organics means nothing is added beyond that's not organic.
Okay. Has your organization set up any programs to help the producer connect with the consumer in these cases?
We have worked with producer directories to mm-hmm. try and enhance those links. It's an ongoing project. I think the websites itself gives you ideas as to where you can go and find product. When we came online with organic milk, we did a sort of a splash saying mm-hmm. this is where you can get it. It's this organic milk in these stores is Alberta organic milk.
So a lot of awareness types of campaign.
It's a good part of what they'd like to do.
Okay, excellent. All right, thank you for joining us today, Kerri.
Thank you.
As Kerri mentioned, producers need to connect with the consumer. So, who are those consumers? We caught up with Christine Naidu at Amaranth Foods in Edmonton, and she told us about the typical organic consumer. I'm here with Christine Naidu from Amaranth Whole Foods Market, and today Christine's going to tell us a little bit about the consumers that would come to this type of market. Yeah. You mentioned vegans, newbies, mm-hmm. What was that, macrobiotic diet?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about the consumer profile.
The consumers that come into the store, everybody's at a different place in their wellness journey. Some come in because they've been diagnosed celiac, so they're trying to find things that are gluten-free. Some people come in because they're vegan. There's many different ways to have a healthy lifestyle, and what we try and do is supply healthy choices for our consumers so that they can continue on their journey of wellness. And we get everybody in here. We have some people who are completely new, and for them, the idea of adding a few fruits and vegetables is a novel concept for them. And we have some people on the other end of the spectrum where they're into a raw food diet, where most of their diet is plant-based, Rob. Yeah.
So this goes beyond just a 100-mile diet. Now we're talking much more specific preferences, right?
Absolutely. And I think a lot of it has to do with constant research. There's always new information happening with food. So for example, Dr. Oz will be on TV. All of a sudden there's a rush for buckwheat honey, mm-hmm. right? Or all of a sudden there's a rush for coconut sugar. So I think in terms of social media and news, the word gets out to consumers a lot faster, and they're demanding the products much quicker than before.
All right, Christine, we're in Edmonton in the dead of winter.
Yeah.
How much of our produce, how much of what we see on the shelves here in the store come from local producers?
Okay. Currently what happens is if it's in the summer, we try and focus on local producers. We do our best with that. Once again, it's also a matter of competition because those local farmers are also supplying to restaurants and also the farmers market. So for us as retailers, what the challenge is, if we like local suppliers, but we can't always get the guaranteed source that we need. Yeah. And on the shelf right now in the winter, about 70% of our product comes from BC. Otherwise, the rest comes from the States. And Alberta is really good with supplying root vegetables, but we'd love to see more variety, absolutely.
Okay, this might be a bit of a tough question for you, but in your opinion, what do you see in terms of growth for this market?
For local produce, I think the key connection is putting retailers together with the farmers, guaranteeing a steady supply and steady source. I know it's a challenge for a lot of the farmers because quite often they're a one-woman or one-man operation or a family operation, and here they are, they're on the farm handling everything, plus they have to take care of the logistics of marketing and also delivery of the product. So I think the biggest thing is the government facilitating the coordination of the farmers with the retailers. I think that would be extremely helpful.
Well, that's our show for today. We'll see you between the windrows and the wire on This Country Called Agriculture.